Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Armani here, and today we are going to be talking about the topic of anxiety. Now, I'm still getting into the program of talking to a camera. I'm still getting into the program of putting my business out on the internet. So the reason why I wanted to have this conversation was because like when I dropped my first video, I slipped into an anxiety attack like soon as it dropped, and I seen it started getting views. I seen my Facebook kind of like the views on my Facebook going up abnormally. Like I have followers on social media like anybody else, and like, but I don't normally get that much attention. You know what I'm saying? Like people watching me and shit like that. So they sent me into a attack, attack. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to be absolutely honest with you guys because this is just going to be a crazy ass journey for me. Actually, like trying to do YouTube, trying to eventually, succeed off of this, and hopefully continue to follow my dreams and shit like that. I always had a trouble with, and all of these things go together. So the topic of today is anxiety, but the things that I've learned about anxiety is having this shit, you have to be extremely delicate. And you know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people don't get about people like me and people that have anxiety. They call us sensitive. They call us too serious or some shit like that, but that's not really the case. Maybe it is, I don't know, but I don't really feel like I'm too serious. I just feel like there's a time and a place to laugh. There's a time and a place to be serious. There's a time and a place just for everything. And with anxiety, you have to be extremely careful because you never know what will send a person into one of them moves and one of them transactions of just completely losing themselves to anxiety. Because mind you, there's level to anxiety. Like some people, anxiety isn't bad as certain others, like myself. Like I feel like as time went by, as I started to grow older and live and learn and experience, my anxiety levels got high. But I know that the first, hold on, I know that the first anxiety attack was triggered by losing my father, and I just remember the phone call to this day. I was at school, and I was sitting on the couch and I was talking to my friend Tay. And I remember getting a phone call from my aunt. And and around this time, like it's just a build up because like, oh, I think a week before, like I seen on Facebook that they posted that he was missing, and I just couldn't believe it. But I was just I was calling everybody. I was like, is this serious? Like, is he really missing? And yeah, he was. Like, nobody could find him. And it wasn't like him that he would never, like, come home. Like, he would always come home. And that's one thing I knew about my father, regardless, because they say that he was under the influence when he passed. So, but I know my father, and I knew even when he was under the influence, there was been an instance, like, he was under influence and he had me. And he always made sure that he got home safe. He always made sure that I got home safe. So I knew for a fact, like, something wasn't right. But that's a different story, different topic. But I just remember getting the call, and it was from my aunt, my dad's sister. And she told me, like, we found your dad. And I felt this sigh of relief when she said that, because I'm thinking, they found him. He's alive. I was like, where is he? Can I talk to him? And then that was just a pause. And then she said, my name, my government, but we're going to call me Armani because that is my name. I just don't like to put my government. I don't want to put my government online. But she said, Armani, he's dead. And I just remember just being so, like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, when she said that, like, it didn't register. Like, I just sat there for a moment, and we sat there in silence, everybody. And I was like, what? And she said, your father is dead. And then that's when I remember the first trigger happened. I had this extreme amount. I mean, I guess it was a mixture of grief and anxiety, but my heart was pounding. I couldn't breathe. You know, my vision was getting blurry. Like, I went outside and I just remember screaming to the top of my lungs, and I was just in sorrow. You know what I'm saying? But that's grief and anxiety, but that's where it started for me. I never had an anxiety attack after that. Well, I never had an anxiety attack before that, as I should say. So, yeah, that was the first one. And then, you know, after we dealt with that and I went through it, I settled down for a little bit. I you know, when you go through grief, everybody goes through grief in different ways. And I chose to shut down. I stayed in the dorm. I stayed out the way. I didn't want to talk to nobody but my friends, you know what I'm saying? So, because honestly, I wasn't even thinking about going back to that school. But everybody was telling me, no, you got to finish what you started because that'll make your dad happy. So, and that's what I did. I had to finish what I started. Anyway, so after that, you know, I started to slowly adjust back into the real world and remember, like, you know, the world moves on. As fucking crazy as that, I mean, it's not crazy because that's just natural knowledge, but regardless of me losing him and how I felt, the world was still going on. You know, the world didn't stop for me, and I still had shit to accomplish. I still had to, you know, be strong for my siblings and shit like that. So I just put it on a mask, and you know, I would smile, I would go to trade, I would do everything, I would say hey to people. Sometimes I didn't feel like saying hey, I just sit in my trade and put my head down. Or if I wasn't in trade, I was in my dorm. I didn't want to be around nobody. I would, for a minute, I think about a good 2 months, and then my RA, Miss Tyler, she was like, you've been in this room too long. You have to go. You have to be outside. You need to interact. And I honestly felt like I wasn't ready, but I knew she was right. And so I did. I went out, and everything started to just go back into its place. And, you know, as time went by, I finally left Job Corps. I'm still just going on about my days, still just trying to keep it together. But mind you, I haven't had an anxiety attack. That was the only one I had when I found out that he passed. So now I'm leading up to the second one. Now, months go by, I'm out of Job Corps, I'm employed now, doing my thing, whatever. And I go out with my friends, one of my closest friends from that school, actually. Well, a couple, because we were all from that school, but except, you know what? But we basically went out, you know, to just celebrate and just have fun, you know, as young people, just have fun. And we decided to go to this hookah lounge. Now, this is when the second anxiety happened to me. Now, we already smoked a little before, and I guess it was super strong because, like, I was mad fucking lit. Like, I was lit. And, you know, it is what it is. You know how that shit go. But, I just remember taking like 2 puffs of that damn hookah when I got in there, and then my high just maximized, and now I'm super fucking lit. And I'm happy at first, but then, you know, as we're there, we're talking, everybody moves and the energy. And I'm a very, very sensitive person. And when I say sensitive, I'm not what I am. Like, you have to be careful what you say to me. But it's more, when I say I'm sensitive, I'm more sensitive spiritually. I'm more sensitive with energies. I'm very sensitive with those things. That's when I say I'm sensitive, I feel like that's where that comes from. Like your energies, I'm very sensitive to, and I can read people's energy before I can read you just off your energy alone. I don't have to even say two words to you. I can just read your energy and know if you're for me and if you're not. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's called intuition or some shit. I don't know. But that's how that shit go for me. Like, I can read energy and I know what energies is for me, what energies are not. I know when somebody is being genuine and when somebody is not. I haven't got them right all the time, so I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like, oh yeah, I can read every fucking body, because that's not the case. Because some people are very good at hiding that they're fucking liars, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me get back to this. I'm, I'm getting off track, y'all. I talk too damn much, but yeah. So I just remember my high getting very intense, and I felt this adrenaline. My heart started beating fast. My blood started. When I get anxiety, my blood gets hot. I get hot, really, really hot. Adrenaline is going, heart beating fast. I can't really sit still. I have to be doing something. Of course, we're in a fucking lounge, so we're sitting still. Loud ass music playing. That wasn't helping. I don't necessarily really like loud noises at all, sober or high. I just don't like loud noises. And yeah, so the music was loud, whatever the hell. But mind you, I didn't know that, like, oh, this was gonna be a continuous pattern. These attacks was going to be a part of my life now. I didn't know that. But now I realized my first trigger was weed and hookah, I guess. And I completely went into shock mode, into the anxiety attack. But some people's anxiety is like loud, and some are inwards. Mine's is more of an inwards anxiety attack. Like, it's a mental, it's emotional. I'm basically spiraling out of control in these two points, and it makes me very irritable. I guess, like, the signs. When you look up the damn signs of how anxiety go, irritable is one, aggressive is one, uh, fight or flight. It was a lot of different shit when I looked up that shit, because I had to. When I realized
So
what I was
basically, what
going
I
through,
was
I
saying,
had to.
I
Of
was
course,
going
I
through
went
a
to
lot,
Google,
and
and
then I
Google, you
ended
should
up
never go to Google,
going
because
to look
it'll tell you all
online
types of
to
shit
see
is
what the
wrong with
hell
you,
was
and it's
wrong
not.
with
And
me,
it's
and
just
that was the
anxiety. And
wrong
I'm
thing to
thinking I'm
do.
finna fucking die
If you are
from
going through
motherfucking
something, do
brain
not
cancer,
search
and I have
online. It
anxiety.
will
You know what I'm
just
saying? I had to go to the doctor
scare
because
you half to fucking
the
death. Go see your
the attacks
doctor.
just kept coming. But the second anxiety attack, I was at the hookah lounge, blah blah blah. You already know all of that. And of course, I smoked. Of course, I did all of that. The anxiety attack happened, and I just remember feeling like I'm losing control, but I'm still, and I'm calm, and everybody thinking I'm okay. They thinking, oh, like, oh shit, it's fine. And I find it crazy. Like, when I go into my anxiety attacks, I get very mute. I get very quiet. Because one, I'm in my head. Two, I'm listening to everything. I'm just trying to take everything in, and that's really bad, at least for me, because then scenarios will start happening and shit like that, and it's like, oh, is this person being mean, or is this person being catty? Is like, when they say certain shit, it just makes you pick at every little thing. Yeah, and that's what it did. It made me pick at every little thing. It made me aggressive. Like, I didn't want to fight. I was just more like aggressive. Like, I asked for water. Can I get some fucking water? Like, that's that's how I asked for water. I got very irritable. I didn't want to talk to nobody. All I remember after that anxiety attack was my friend just hiding in my friend. So basically, what I was trying to say was, while I was at the hookah lounge and I'm having the anxiety attack, mid anxiety attack, I just decide to curl up, like, under my friend, under my friend. Like it was like basically like a safety net. Like I knew I was safe there. So that's where I hid. I closed my eyes. I tried to tune out the music. I tried to basically what I was doing, I was just trying to calm myself down, y'all. That's what I was trying to do. And yeah, I just feel like there's somebody out there that probably can relate to how I feel and need to learn some key things and how to figure out like what type of anxiety do you have, because I mean it's all different, it's different types and it's different triggers for everybody, but some is worse than other people's, and some is just like just little petty shit, and when I say petty shit, I'm not excusing like dismissing any other levels of anxiety. Anxiety is anxiety. If it feels too much to handle, you should seek help at this point, because now my anxiety turns me into a person that sometimes I don't even recognize. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been so many instances where like I was a completely different person, and not, I guess not, maybe in a negative way. Some of it was negative, but it was more out of like fear and being scared rather than trying to be like malicious or some shit. It wasn't. It was. I don't want to be. I don't want this to hold a cloud over my head forever. So I try to find different ways to handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been talking to a counselor, and I found out that a lot of my anxieties or triggers that I went through as a child and as a preteen, my anxiety really kicked off around the time that my father passed away. When you lose somebody, and for the first time, like immediate family, like somebody that was in your life your entire life, it really does something to you. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people has experienced death, so it's just like we all kind of, I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from, but his passing did a extreme amount of damage to me, and the anxiety came from fear of losing other people, fear of not being able to truly express myself to people before it's too late, or having a fear of somebody leaving. It did so much in so little time, and I didn't even notice it. It was so bad I had to go to the, I remember I know I'm talking like weird, but bear with me, y'all. But I remember my first anxiety attack. Like I was out and about with friends at the time. I think it was something like I'd never experienced anxiety, after smoking. And when I say smoking, I was just smoking marijuana. That was it. Okay? We don't play that other shit around here. Y'all can do what y'all do. I don't judge. That ain't my forte. Okay? We just strictly weed over here. Not even a cigarette goes in this motherfucking hand. Okay? But anyway, yeah, I didn't know that was going to happen to me, that I was already under the influence, and then the hookah made it worse, and then I just found myself getting really 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 anxious, nervous. Like I was questioning everything around me. I was questioning everybody. I was questioning motives. I was questioning like everything, and even myself. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't just make you question just you. It makes you question everything, everybody, and even yourself. At least for me. You know what I'm saying? I was, for the longest time, and for the like that whole time, like I was just trying to keep myself together. It started with the legs shaking, then the breathing kicked into place. And mind you, like I'm out in public and I'm with my friends, and I just felt like, wow, so I don't know what's happening. So I started to freak out in my head, because I didn't want to cause a scene, obviously, because I'm in public and shit like that. So I was really self-destructing in my head because I'm having this anxiety attack that I don't know is an anxiety attack, and I'm not
Basically,
sure
what I
that
was
you were saying.
saying
My
was I
biggest
did not
thing
know
about the
that
anxiety
I was
attack, I was
having
like,
an
oh my
anxiety
god,
attack. I
all of
just
this
knew that I
adrenaline,
had a
I
lot of
can't take it. Is
adrenaline.
this shit gonna ever
I
end?
couldn't focus.
What if I
I
stay
was
like this for life?
scared.
What if I'm overly anxious for life? Like that was where my mind process was, and it just drove me insane because I wanted to go back to my regular self so bad, and I was so scared. Like, what if I'm gonna be stuck in this mode for the rest of my life? And that just, them questions just made it worse, and then more questions came into play, like, do my friends care about me? Do they even notice that I'm like going through something right now? If I tell them, what would they do? What would they say? And it just overwhelmed me to the point, like, I felt like I was just about to, like, my spirit was just about to burst out of my body. And by the grace of God, like, my best friend, my best home girlfriend, she noticed that I wasn't right, and she was like, she asked, was you okay? And I was just, the night was a blur because, like I said, I really wasn't fully sober, but I do remember, like, she knew that I wasn't okay, and like, I just remember asking for a glass of water, and
I do remember
like
asking
put in
for that
my
glass of
head, like,
water
I
very
we was on this
aggressively.
little
Sorry
sofa
to that
in
waiter.
the
Sorry to
it's a
my
lounge, so
friends
it's a hookah
for them
lounge, so they
having to
have little
witness
sofas
me
and
be
shit that
a
everybody sits on. Me and
bitch.
my best friend sat and next to each other, and then our friends, because they was in a relationship, they sat next to each other, obviously. So me having a panic attack, trying to maintain myself and not cause a scene, like, and she noticed by the grace of God, and I was just like, I don't know at this point. I don't know what's going on. Like, my adrenaline is going crazy. I'm finna go into assault mode at this point because I don't trust anything around me and all of this shit. But I wanted to make a video to let people, like, know that they're not alone. You're not weird. You're not abnormal if you are going through situations like mine. And it took me a long time because I would hide, and I would just sit there, and I would have an anxiety attack all by myself, and I wouldn't tell nobody. I would just go through it, and I would just smile, and I would just try to pretend that I was happy and I was okay. And meanwhile, like, I'm just losing my shit inside. Um
And another
so I
thing,
knew at this
make
point
sure that
that
you
I
have a
wasn't
good
I
group of
wasn't
friends
right.
around you that
So
care about you, that
I
care
go
about your
to
well-being.
after
Because in times of
I was going to
anxiety, you
DFW
might need
airport,
them
and I
sometime, and
had
it's
an
okay to
anxiety
need
attack
them. It's okay
mid
to depend
session. Like,
on,
I'm on the
not
clock, I'm at my
necessarily
desk
depend, but it's
doing what I
okay
need to do,
to
and
get
I'm
some
having an
outside help. It's
anxiety attack.
okay. I promise you.
So normal. It's okay to need help. It's okay to have an anxiety. It's okay to have anxiety. It's okay to not be perfect. So don't beat yourself up over these things that's going on with you. Regardless, it can be anything. Whatever you're going through, it's okay. As long as you live another day to fight, you're gonna be okay. And just have a strong will and keep on pushing. And that's all I have to say to you guys for this video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, leave commentary if you have anything to ask, or if you want to say anything to me, you can feel free to, talk to me in the comments or on my Instagram, which is __Armoni, ARMONI, or my Twitter, Armoni, spelled the same way, ARMONI, Crenshaw, CRENSHAW. So please don't hesitate. Thank you. Have a good day.